All right, hi everybody, and welcome back. It is Phil Nagy and Kit Nagy for Nagy on Sports. Super excited to bring this one to you because it gets us one step closer to the regular season, which is what we all have been waiting for on bated breath. But we got preseason week number 4, one final little tune-up. We'll see the starters for I think about a quarter usually. And then we'll see the backups. But the roster has been trimmed to 53. Had to make some tough decisions this week as acting general managers, Kit and I did. But I think you're going to be really happy with the result. You have a really, really stacked roster with an opportunity for growth as well. As you can see, today's opponent is the Indianapolis Colts. Frank Reich, very excited there on your screen to be reunited with Carson Wentz. The last time that Carson Wentz was relevant was when that man was calling plays for him. So we'll see if this marriage will work out well together. I suppose time will tell. Let's welcome in the better half of the broadcast team here. Kid, how are we doing?
I'm doing great today. Excited for the last game here of our preseason. We've had an exciting run so far, especially that last game was really fun to see the offense start to get going and get clicking. Now, of course, we're not going to see nearly as much of the starters in this one as it is the fourth preseason game under the old architecture. So this is going to be one that's predominated by those guys trying to make the roster cuts, although we've already made the roster cuts. Yes. So a bit interesting of a dynamic here, not really how it would work out, but that's something that Madden does. I guess theoretically you can play the game first and then make the roster cuts.
Could.
But
you could.
But just the way it's set up. Anyway, so we kind of had projected already who we were expecting to make this team and who we don't. I do those kinds of exercises ridiculously early, so here we are. And should be fun. Looking forward to this one. Of course, Colts are a very, very good team. Just the question mark, the big question mark is the reunion of Wentz and Reich really going to be, everything that they hope it will be, or not. So interesting from that front. Of course, we won't see a lot of that, but certainly they're a good team.
Absolutely, and for you purists, it looked like it auto-made Carson Wentz number 6, and I didn't go in and tweak that. The roster actually has him listed as number 2, so apparently Michael Pittman was not willing to give up number 11. So Carson Wentz will actually be rocking number 2, but for this game he will be wearing number 6, and I will make sure to attend to that at a later time. But rest assured, that is Carson Wentz, I promise.
Hey Keith, welcome in.
All right, first play of the game here. Again, you will see starters. That's Nyheim Hines, who comes in on that kind of third down shotgun look, and he's going to go right up the middle, and JOK says, "I got you, Hines," and rips him to the ground. Nice tackle right at the line of scrimmage for Owusu-Koramoah.
Yeah, Nyheim Hines, a very dynamic weapon for this Colts offense, and actually, for those who were paying attention, he's gotten, or Felton has gotten some comps to Nyheim Hines, which is, that's a good look for him.
Yes, for sure. Back to pass pressure coming, and Miles is going to just rip him to the ground. Miles had to do some jumping jacks afterwards as Wentz had no chance as the right tackle Braden Smith just got turnstiled over there by Myles Garrett.
Yeah, welcome in 504. Absolutely, that's what happened. And leaving Myles Garrett alone out there on an island is not a good plan. That's why so many double teams come out and early start for this defense. And I think Myles Garrett a little bit jealous that everybody and their mother was getting a sack last game.
Yep.
So he decided he wanted to get set his stamp early in this one.
Absolutely. Actually, it looked like in the route concept that maybe they were trying to set up a screen. I saw Marlon Mack kind of leaking to the right side. Looks like maybe that's where they were trying to go, but were unsuccessful as this third and long is going to be cut down short. Greedy Williams makes a nice tackle. Here playing kind of in a traditional dime look if Greedy is on the field as they're going to shut him down. Of course, 3rd and 18, I guess that makes sense.
Yep. Good morning, Karen. Go Browns.
Morning, Karen.
And very nice 3 and out there for the Browns. Yep. And you may have noticed there that we had in that particular lineup, this is an adjustment that we made because we think we're going to see it a lot, but you saw Myles Garrett right next to Jadeveon Clowney there. Jadeveon lined up in that 3 technique on the inside against a guard, and that's going to be a devastating look for this D-line.
There he is, Baker Mayfield, the original, the OG. He is back here after our little experiment ended prematurely. But we had gathered enough evidence to make a decision.
Yes, indeed.
Oh, it's pretty beautiful here in Columbus, Keith. That's funny how we can just be a couple hours away. First play of the game, Mayfield gives it up the middle. It's Kareem Hunt, angling left side. He's going to fight forward for a short gain there of about 3 yards.
Yeah, that lake effect doesn't quite reach to Columbus, and it definitely affects the greater Northeast area, though. And you'll get some of those days where the weather will be affecting Cleveland pretty significantly, but not Columbus.
Positively.
Happens a lot in the wintertime, too, where you get snow up in Cleveland, but you got nothing happening in Columbus.
Hey, Jason, welcome on, brother. Third and short here. Baker with time. Baker with time. Oh, he's going to fire late. It's just wide open. Beckham. That was weird.
Yeah, that was weird. Just
wide open. He just airmailed it.
Yeah, just led his receiver a little bit too much. Beckham couldn't quite get to it. And although I think the real Beckham actually probably lays out for that one and probably comes up with a catch. So a little odd that Beckham just kind of continued lazily running his route, not really trying to make a catch on the ball. A little odd, but you know, that's going to bring up the punt for the Browns, and now we'll see these Colts one more time.
Yeah, actually, in hindsight, I probably should have gone for it. I didn't realize we were right at midfield. That was my bad.
That's okay.
It's all right.
It's still preseason, so
punt gets him inside the 20 here as Wentz is in the shotgun on his second drive. He's back to pass. He's got some time this time, and he's going to check it down to his receiver. That's T.Y. Hilton there in the middle of the field for a gain of 5. Shotgun again for Carson Wentz. Now he leaves the pocket to the right side, and Tommy Togiai chases him down. And they're actually going to give a half sack credit to Miles and Togiai on that particular play.
Yeah, it was interesting.
There, the rookie coming up.
It was interesting. Tommy Togiai showing his athleticism, functional athleticism, working down the line, almost like a linebacker, just kind of scraping off the edge there, coming off some blocks.
I guess Miles did kind of trip him up a little bit. I suppose that's worth a half. You could see Miles there starting the contact and Togiai finishing the contact.
Yep, but that athleticism from Togiai, that's a big man in the middle making a pretty nice athletic play out on the perimeter.
Yeah, he could be a really nice piece here in a year or two for them. Back to pass, they're down. Oh, whoa, big hit there. Ronnie Harrison says, sit down,
Yikes.
sir.
That was a shot and a half.
That was Naheem Hines, a little third down scat back, and he takes a rocket shot from Harrison, and a punt upcoming for the Colts. Woo! That'll rattle your teeth, as they say.
Yeah, it will. Well, and Harrison's a big safety. I mean, he's got like 215 pounds or so, and he'll lay the wood. I mean, he definitely has good. I mean, we talked a lot about Cadillac Carl last year for us, and he definitely could put some shots on some folks. But Harrison's very capable of that too. We saw some of that in the real season last year.
Yeah, you're going to see Harrison running kind of that position as Chubb unfortunately cannot get through the parade of people in front of him and will have to take a short loss. We expect to see, at least until we know for sure, we expect Harrison to be the one a little bit closer to the line, kind of acting as that dime linebacker. As they set up a little bit of a screen to the right side, and I'm not sure why Baker got rid of it so quickly. Hunt was not anywhere near ready to catch that football. Yeah,
a little bit of happy feet back there. Just looked like he was, a little uncomfortable with the pressure in his face, and got rid of it before his running back was ready for it.
Absolutely. Now a 3rd and long. Baker is back to pass. He's got time. He fires a strike. He's got his man. That's Schwartz, the rookie. Nice catch for a first down for Anthony Schwartz to the 46.
And that was absolutely beautiful. Very nice route there from Schwartz, getting into his spot very quickly, ready for Baker Mayfield to hit him. And Baker hit him right in stride.
A little no huddle here, try to get somebody off guard, and Darius Leonard is not fooled, and he will tackle Chubb again right at the line. So Chubb a little bit of trouble getting started here in this game. Of course, had a great game against Jacksonville yesterday in preseason game number 3. We'll go Chubb again. This time he's going to angle to the right side. He's got a little bit more luck as he gets spilled down right at the midfield stripe, and that's going to bring up a 3rd and medium to medium long here.
Yep. And here when we get to the defensive side again, I want to talk a little bit more about the positions of the safeties. But we'll chat about that here in a minute. Actually, we can talk about that here because it looks like we're going to punt here on 4th and 7.
We'll go for it this time since we're in midfield. But I don't know what that play was. He threw
was
like
odd.
a go route.
Kind of like, he put some air underneath it, but he didn't really put it in the right spot, which is not very accurate of him, and that's not very Baker-like.
But the route had Beckham as, here, super right at the line. He's going to get a shot, but he gets the first down. Wow. The route concept was for a big dig route. Like Beckham had made his cut to the inside, and Baker just threw it deep. It was just really odd. All right, 1st down and 10, those regardless, as they're going to boot action to the left side. Baker with lots of time. He's going to fire, coming back to the football is Beckham. He's got a 1st down inside the 30 at the 26-yard line, and they're going to go fast again here. Pitch to the right side. Here comes Chubb, and he cannot get through the line. So lose a couple more yards again.
So Keith, to answer your question here, I don't know that any of them were necessarily surprise cuts. They're definitely all bubble guys that we've identified. So like Wilson did not make this team and got put on our practice squad. There's a couple other folks that that's a debate right there. Is he going to get cut outright, or is he going to make the practice squad? That's an interesting question. I mean, at least for the fact that he's in the system and been around the system, they can maybe look to continue to develop him if he's in the practice squad. But yeah, so I don't know that there were any like surprise cuts. What do you think, Phil? Were there any that you would think people would
no,
see
and again, we were able to keep most of them on the practice squad, so they're not just straight cut. I will say that we did not pick up Damian Square or Malik McDowell, so neither of those guys. I don't think McDowell's even in the game because he hasn't played a down of NFL football yet.
Right. And he was drafted in 2017, so no, yeah, they've long since gotten rid of him.
So I didn't actually add those 2 guys, but those probably would have been 2 guys that would have gotten cut.
Right, and Madden, you have to keep in mind
of the rookies. We cut all the undrafted. We put all the undrafted rookie guys on the practice squad. I think Redwine maybe was probably the one that was the most controversial, quote unquote controversial.
Other than Wilson, I think we kept Wilson, right? In the D tackle room.
Yeah. So yeah, we kept Marvin Wilson. Sorry, yes, we did. I don't see him as an undrafted since they paid him like a 6th-round pick.
No, and if he goes to the waiver wire,
grades the year before. Yeah.
Yeah, if he goes to the waiver wire, a team is picking him up. So that's not a guy that you can afford to play the risk if you really like him and want him on this team. You don't play that. You don't play the Miami game and hope that nobody's going to take a risk on that injury like they did with Curtis Weaver, and we just said, "Oh, thanks, appreciate that."
Yeah. Absolutely. Here just Wentz scrambles out to midfield before Walker knocks him down. Yeah, if you want, hang on at the end of the sim game. We'll just talk through the roster real quick. We'll go through the 53 that we kept.
Yep.
And you can debate it on your own.
Yeah, the other thing to keep in mind too is you get a little added flexibility in Madden that you wouldn't have for a true 53, in that we don't have to maintain a long snapper because they just use a center, and we don't have Hewlett on this team, and there are some other places where we have a little extra flexibility that they're not going to have.
Yes, absolutely. I think we put Dearness Johnson on the practice squad. That was potentially a controversial move.
Yes.
As we're projecting kind of fight for that, that 3rd running back spot.
Yeah. The way I'm seeing it from a quick glance, 53. You really have 3 spots that are that could go either way. Which is the running back room, Felton versus Johnson; in the D tackle room, Wilson versus McDowell; and then in the safety room, LeCount versus Redwine.
Yeah, that was right. We chose to keep LeCount over top.
Yep.
Wentz throws a strike. Oh, and he tries to jump the route, and it's going to be taken all the way into the end zone. T.Y. Hilton. See if we can see this replay. Couldn't tell who the defender was. He sold out and dove for the interception, and it did not work. Welcome, Zaire. Who was it that dove? Oh, it's Delpit, kind of fell to his knees. That was weird. And then Greedy just kind of let him go. Odd play.
Yeah, Delpit kind of, like, it was odd. He had a good position for making the tackle, but then jumped the route late once the ball was already there, and then just looked silly. That's probably not something that Delpit would actually do.
Yeah. Welcome on JC on as well. We got Patterson Bros in the house. Yes, we did. This is actually next year's fourth and doesn't exist anymore preseason game. But it's still in for us, so we'll be jumping off the Browns regular season this weekend, potentially starting the regular season with the Buccaneers season home opener tomorrow, if schedules allow. So excited to get this new season popping for sure.
Yeah, and keep in mind some of the final touch fidelity things we're not going to be able to replicate in Madden until the new version of the game comes out sometime in August.
Yes.
So things like, hey, we're only going to have 3 preseason games, not 4. Hey, we're going to have 17 game roster or a season, not a 16 game season. Things like that are purely. And even what the actual schedule is going to be, like what weeks and what times, obviously the opponents are relatively similar, not exactly the same, but very close. But yeah, for the most part, we're doing the best we can with what we have, and then the last touch of fidelity there will be once the new game is released.
Yep. We'll do the best we can with the things we have as the Browns kind of establishing Nick Chubb, and then a really nice play action off of that play. Here's a 2nd and 2 Hunt, kind of getting stopped up right near the line to gain. It's going to bring up a 3rd and 1 here for the Browns. Again, you saw me running a little hurry up, mostly because all the starters are going to get subbed out at the end of the quarter. Hey, Wendell. So I want to see the starters play a little bit more. I really like that play action concept, and Beckham was wide open. That's the power of the run.
Yep.
Here goes Chubb again, 1st down. Had the outside if he wanted it. Did not want it, apparently.
Yeah, no, and actually that's the smart move, because if you stretch that to the outside and a defender makes a play there, you may potentially get stopped short. And yes, he potentially had that, but he chose the quicker to the line option, which, he had the hole there as well and was able to pick up that 1st down, which is really the goal in that spot.
Play action look again, and Baker's just going to lose it out of bounds. Smart play there from him. Live to play another down at this distance. It's nice to see he's actually doing that with some more regularity now.
Yes, that has been a very, welcome change.
Here's Hunt left side now, and he's going to pick up about 5. Brings up a 3rd and 5 here. Browns go heavy personnel here, 13 personnel. Bryant in there on the line. You can see bottom of your screen.
Yep, and actually in a preseason game like this, if this were still the model, you absolutely treat this as a first unit, as a bit of a 2-minute drill, as if this were end of half, end of game type situation, because this is you're still trying to tune up for the season. This is very much a situational football. Yeah, it's still only the end of the first quarter, but it's their last reps. So, it's a good opportunity to treat it like it's that, and you would certainly hurry up here and try to get the touchdown. Obviously, they don't make it in time, and now they're back, waiting on the backup units to hopefully punch it in for them. But yes, that would be the goal there, is they would certainly be looking to do a little bit of that hurry-up football to try to punch it in with that first unit, in a little bit of a situational football prep, because it's a good opportunity.
Sure. Well, and obviously when you're down to the 5-yard line, he's not going to pull everybody just because the quarter break happened. Like, okay, guys, go finish the drive, even if it's on the other side of the quarter.
Yep. Most of them.
Unfortunate there, a little bit of a holding call on Nick Harris, now 2nd-year backup center. Back to pass. Keenum now on a 2nd down. He's going to go left side, short gain, actually no gain. Schwartz makes the tackle, but he is just buried quickly there by all kinds of defenders. That's going to set up a 3rd and goal now from the 9. Marvell Tell, the cornerback, makes the play. Keenum back to pass now on 3rd and goal. He's going to go right side. He's got a wide open receiver, and it's Schwartz. Touchdown, Browns, Anthony Schwartz. He was wide open.
Yes, he was. A little quick preview there of his wheels on that route as he just flies open out in the corner there. and really nobody home for the Colts. He just shows a little bit of his burst to get to that end zone, and Keenum has no problem just putting that ball right on him there in the corner of the end zone, and that's what speed can do. We talk about speed in terms of vertical and taking the top off of a defense, but don't forget speed is really important in the horizontal game too. Getting yourself open in breaks, getting yourself into the soft part of zones quickly before those holes start to close up. That's what speed can do, and that's why it's so important spreading the field out, horizontally as well as vertically.
JC, I'm trying to figure out what you're saying here. New Nagy is trash. I don't understand what that means. But I'm trying not to take it personally. Here's the rookie, Sam Ehlinger, out onto the field. He is the Colts' backup quarterback, or projects to be the backup quarterback. So we see some highlights of Carson Wentz taking some sacks, which is something we hope to continue to see here, even with the second unit in. Sam Ehlinger, of course, condolences and best wishes to his family at the sudden death of his brother, who's a player at University of Texas right now, which is just kind of found him in his room dead yesterday, which is super sad. So everything is resolved, and that just praying for peace for the Ehlinger family as Sam starts his NFL career, and obviously the Texas family with heavy hearts this morning.
Yeah, absolutely. That's already a very stressful part of your life to go through the draft and
Yep.
all the preparation, everything going in, and to lose a member, and actually a teammate and brother. He was a linebacker for Texas. Very, very unfortunate, and definitely you have to send condolences to the family and feel terrible for their loss.
Yes. A couple of nice runs there for Jonathan Taylor, who again, sort of similar to our situation, sort of splits starter reps with Marlon Mack, but will be functioning as the second string running back, as he's going to go up the middle, bounces off his own guy, and then it's going to fall forward for a first down on a 3rd and 3. As Taylor up the middle, looks like maybe MJ Stewart came over to help out on that tackle. He made this roster.
Yeah, I think he has to, because he's the logical choice for the backup in the slot. If you need to bounce Troy Hill to the outside for for injury purposes or for whatever reason, the next guy to play in the slot is naturally going to be MJ Stewart, if they don't have an outside corner that they're comfortable with bringing into that nickel role. And MJ Stewart had a really good run of it late in the season when we had a bunch of injuries, and he had those 2 critical interceptions against the Steelers, both very critical plays for us.
Okay. Sorry. Owusu Koromoa just wrecked Sam Ehlinger on this play. Watch this sack. Wow.
Yes, he did it, and he is. We talk about him being shot out of a cannon. He could just lay a licking down folks. He's they say he's undersized as a linebacker, but he plays way above his weight, as you saw right there. He really can fly, and he can definitely create massive hits like that one.
.504, sorry to hear that as well. Tough season here for our Nagy on Sports family.
Yes, indeed.
Browns do force another punt. That was a sweet hit by JOK. Gosh, I hope that we.
Yeah, you should clip that one too and put it in our. Yeah. I still have to build the highlights thread, but I've decided we need one.
We need to figure out the easiest way to do that. Just like screen capture.
Yeah,
like
screen cap off the
YouTube.
Back. Yeah, I mean you could still just screen cap it right off the YouTube video itself, but
and then put it right into.
Yeah.
Right into the Discord, or do we have to like make it a GIF or something?
Yeah. What I don't remember. You were the one who did it last time, but I'm sure we can figure it out.
Yeah, I did, and I did put it like in Adobe Premiere and then export it as a GIF. So
yeah, that might be the easiest way.
I would say, well, it wasn't super easy. So that's what I'm saying. So if there is an easier way, let's find it.
Got it. We can probably figure that out.
Keenum again, little dump over the middle. He's got his man. Is that Schwartz again? It is Schwartz. He's had a really nice game here today so far. Excited about that piece. fastest player in the NFL, potentially. His 40 was 0.02 of a second faster than Tyreek Hill's, for whatever that's worth.
Yeah, well, and you know, you talk about, you know, if he had made track his focus instead of football, I mean, he had a very realistic shot at being, you know, showing up in Tokyo, you know, competing for the United States, which that's no small feat. Those are some very fast men that compete in events like that.
Absolutely. Keenum throws a nice little route to Harrison Bryant for a first down. Browns moving the football here. Not sure why Nick Chubb is back in the game. Must just be a formation sub thing. That gets him back in. No gain, though, for Chubb. Bobby Okereke, their linebacker, they're going to look for some more of. Again, this team, of course, the former home of Anthony Walker Jr., who will be captaining the middle of that Browns defensive ship. I don't know if they'll give him the captaincy and or the dot, you know, the headset dot, or if they'll do that to JJ3.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Does it have to be a linebacker? I guess I don't know.
It does not. No, I mean, obviously JJ3 had it in LA. Yeah, so it certainly could be a safety, and the way this defense is run, I mean, with the number of safeties they're going to have, and actually that brings up the point I was going to talk to a little bit earlier as well, which I'll kind of dovetail into here. But no, it doesn't necessarily have to be JJ3 or Walker. I mean, there's actually a number of guys that you could select for that role. I think that we're going to find that out really in camp. That's where they're going to get a feel for that kind of thing. But about the safety positional stuff that we were talking about how we have, you know, we filled in Harrison into that kind of the role that we had Carl Joseph in. The unfortunate setup here with Madden is it's a little more rigid than I think the Browns are truly going to be. They're pretty much position agnostic from the safety position, in that you could see any one of them playing any one of the roles, and I think that's going to be a big feature of this defense. Something that we can't truly replicate with Madden, but something that you should expect to see, in that at any given time, any one of the three could be playing the traditional free safety, any one of the three could be a strong safety, and one of the three could be the rover in the nickel. I mean, any number of positions all across that defense, and I think that's the versatility they brought in and exactly what they want, because that's going to confuse offenses and quarterbacks and make it that's how you win as a defense in the NFL.
Right. Wendell, to your question, I don't see, and I'll chime in on this too, I don't see Chubb getting to 1,500 yards only because, well, I'll say this. I only see it happening if Kareem Hunt gets hurt, right? I mean, they could both be at 1,000 or over 1,000, but I don't see one of them getting to 1,500. What do you think, Kit?
It's a good question. With the way that Baker Mayfield in particular came on late in the season and how dynamic that passing attack became, I'm not trying to take away from the run offense, because I think it's going to be awesome as well, and that is where this offense really starts. But you do have two very dynamic backs there. They always talk about, are they going to have enough balls to go around to the mouths to feed? I don't see it that way, but I do see the fact that you'll probably see anywhere between 1,000 to 1,200 yards for either one of them. But when you're all told, like including the passing game, because I think Chubb's going to get more involved in the passing game. Of course, Hunt will be involved in the pass game. I think you'll see, they'll easily both be over 1,000 yards when you look at both of their
total yards.
Yeah, total yards. But then I think that's where you start to see probably 1,500-ish, somewhere in there.
Yeah, for sure. A couple of nice scrambles on this drive from Sam Ehlinger. It's going to lead to a Hines touchdown here for the Colts. I know Sam Ehlinger is fairly athletic, but that was an interesting drive there. A couple of long scrambles. 3:34 on the clock. Welcome, Known. Good to have you on, brother. Yeah, 504, I would be I think that's probably much more likely. You know what I mean? Like, what's more likely? One of them getting 1,500 or both of them combining for 2,000 or more, and I think it's probably the latter.
Right. I agree. And I think those are pretty safe numbers there, 1,200 and 1,000 roughly. Pretty safe rushing numbers of what to expect this season for those two. Barring injury, of course.
Yeah, for sure. And the other thing I think maybe that you can, I'll say the word hope for, not necessarily plan for, but the other thing is with our offense continuing to take steps and getting better, and our defense being a heck of a lot better, in theory, we could be up pretty significantly in a lot of games and just ground and pound those games to a, you know what I mean? Like their attempts could be way up because they're getting a lot of carries in the third and fourth quarter to just salt away a 25-point win.
No, I think that's a very valid point. I think that's an important thing to consider as well. Which I think this is a good year because the defense is looking to be so solid. If they put it together, then yes, you're gonna have two real effects of that. Which the one you already mentioned. The other piece of that too is because I expect this is going to be a very turnover happy defense, very opportunistic defense. You're going to get a lot more, cracks at the plate, if you will, more chance to be at bat on offense, just because your defense is going to be giving it back to you so often, which means more opportunity to pad stats, if you will.
Yeah. All good points. Time will tell. That's the fun part. Time will tell as Keenum gets the ball knocked out of his hands attempting to throw a pass here. 1:58 on the clock. Keenum back to pass, and the right tackle, which looks like it's Wyatt Teller for some reason.
That is odd. Why is he out there at right tackle?
No. Hubbard's. Maybe he was just in a guard. Do we not have a backup right guard?
He came back.
That's right. We didn't. Did we keep 10? I can't remember.
We kept. It was either 9 or 10.
9. Maybe that's why Teller is still in there. You're right. I think we maybe put Dunn and Blake on the practice squad, right? And just kept
9. 9 is, I think, a 9.
Harris, and then Forbes and.
Right. So Forbes is probably in at the left guard. So then you've got Teller still playing the road.
Sure.
But of course, this game would traditionally be played with all those guys out there. So you'd probably be seeing, like some combination of Dunn and Forbes out there, I would guess.
Yes. No, absolutely, Wendell. That's what I hopefully can foresee is a lot of games that are out of hand by like the middle of the third quarter, and then it's just like, okay, we're just going to hand it off 30 more times in a row, and you can try to stop us.
Yeah. And to your point there, 504, I think Baker just shy, maybe, or somewhere right around that 4,000 mark with maybe 35-ish touchdowns. Sounds about right for him this season, maybe a few more touchdowns.
Yeah, we'll see, hopefully. First and 10 here, Colts, as we approach halftime. Again, Sam Ehlinger still in there. Quickly over the middle to Ashton Doolin, I believe, on the catch. It's his third completion for Sam Ehlinger. Beating out Jacob Eason in camp, or something like that. They call their last time out, 16 seconds on the clock. Again, they're right at midfield. And looks like maybe they're just going to be content to run the ball. They are. Combination of several Browns defenders on the tackle. There's MJ Stewart in the picture as well. This one's going to get us to halftime. One would assume 2-1. They get the snap off. Oops, wrong screen. They get the snap off. And Ehlinger is almost going to get sacked by Gustin and still he throws it to the back of his offensive line. Incomplete pass. And we are at halftime here of preseason game number 4. 14-10, Colts lead. Browns will get the football. Let's see if Keenum can get something going here in this second half to finish out the preseason 2-2. Of course, the one game the starters played, we rolled by like 30, so that was refreshing, since this game literally doesn't exist anymore.
Right. It'll be interesting to see how teams adapt to a 3-season or a 3-game preseason.
Yeah.
In terms of, obviously the model for how you traditionally run a 4-game preseason is pretty well established, and that's what Madden is replicating here.
Sure.
It'll be, how does that change? Where do you put your dress rehearsal as that second game then, and then kind of still like this as the third, or because obviously you still have to make roster cuts, so you want to see all these guys as much as you can, and that's a big part of what this preseason is. It's an opportunity for those bubble guys to make teams, and but at the same time, you still want to tune up your starters and make sure they're ready to go. So there's this interesting dynamic. You got to get it all done in 3 games now instead of 4, and how's that going to look? So I guess time will tell on that front. There will definitely be some changes, though, as we're effectively trading a preseason game and making it into a regular season game this season.
It's true. That's very true. All interesting things to watch.
It leads to 2nd and 10.
Kareem Hunt tries to go left side. He's going to be ripped down there by the defensive back. He's going to bring up a 3rd and 8.
Yeah, nice contain there too from the Colts. They really had that one pretty well bottled in, and Hunt didn't really have anywhere to go with it.
It's Keenum, and another drop. This one's from Schwartz, unfortunately. And this part of the field, we will go ahead and go for it here. Let's see what Keenum can do for us here on a 4th and 8. He's got an empty backfield. Gonna have to get rid of it quick. And he floats this thing deep right side, and it's picked off. Picked off at about the 15-yard line. And I guess it's as good as a punt, although they get the ball pretty close to where
I was going to say a punt with a great punt return.
A net of 4 yards there because
so
they
not
snapped
so
it
ideal.
from 42.
Yeah.
Nothing like throwing into quadruple coverage down there to your tight end. Not sure why that was the read there, Case.
Well,
somebody else had to be open.
He actually had a step. It wasn't a bad read. I mean, there were 4 guys there, but Harrison Bryant actually had a step. But Case leaves it woefully short where all the defenders are and not where his tight end is. Almost a pick there.
This Ellinger chucked that thing about 40 yards down the field as well. Looked like, couldn't tell, it was Troy Hill maybe.
504. That I think is a bit of a pipe dream. I don't think that's very likely to see all 3 of those guys over 1,000. I suppose it could happen.
Yeah, it could.
But no, I think Rashard Higgins. Not that I love him, but I don't see him breaking 1,000 as very likely. More likely he's in the 700.
Not with the tight ends we have.
Yeah, more in the 700 range probably for him. But that would be sweet though. Don't get me wrong, it would be sweet to have 3 receivers over 1,000 and two running backs over 1,000. I mean, that would be just wild.
Well, that's the other part of the short field piece that you talked about, right? If they're getting a bunch of turnovers in midfield, I mean, that's 30 to 40 less yards every scoring drive potentially.
Yep.
Those kinds of things add up when you're looking at total yards achieved and things like that.
Absolutely.
Ellinger swings it out to Jonathan Taylor. He steps out of bounds at the 36. So Ellinger's been pretty electric with his feet. That's been the bright spot here. Maybe if things don't work out with Carson Wentz, Sam Ellinger turns into a player for them. He's going to go right side. He's going to be chased down, and Curtis Weaver's got him back to the 44. I think that's the 4th sack of the preseason for Weave. Let's go.
Yeah, and I saw some discussion about how some people seem to think that he's a potential roster casualty out of this preseason. I mean, obviously we got to wait to see what we see in camp, and is he really as good as Browns fans? Yeah, Browns fans hope. But I at this point, where we currently sit today, I would be very surprised if he doesn't make this team, just for what I expect he can be, and for the fact that you didn't take an edge prospect, if you will, in the draft, and I think their answer to that is because that's what Weaver is. Weaver is their developmental prospect in the edge room. I think he's a guy that they see a lot of upside for, and that could really develop into a long-term starter on this defense. And that is who he is and what he represents. And I'm kind of baffled by those who are seeing Curtis Weaver as a potential cut prospect. I'm like, I don't know about that.
Right, absolutely. Welcome on, Jamie. Are you a Colts fan? Is that your team? If so, go Colts for you. Sam Ellingers looked pretty good for you. Carson Wentz did not, but Sam Ellingers looked pretty good against the backups.
Yes, he has looked pretty good. Welcome in, Jamie.
So it's a 3rd and 2 here. A little motion coming from DPJ. Turn around, give the football to Kareem Hunt, and he goes up the middle. So just another example of the beauties of coach mode, because Madden refuses to run for it on 3rd and short.
Right.
And I never understand it.
Yeah, no, I don't either. Even though we try to weight these plays to force the hand, but it still doesn't seem to work. Even when we create the playbook and weight it, as another sweet hole opens up on the left side there for Nick Chubb. Interesting that both first Hunt and now Chubb out there getting work here with the second team. But
it must just be those plays that got formation subbed into,
probably.
And they can't go away from it. As Keenum's going to feel some pressure, and he's going to go down. Tyquan Lewis from Ohio State gets back there along with Ben Banagoo as they collapse the pocket, we'll say. Oh, gotcha, Jamie.
Yeah, you have to like what the Buccaneers have done. In speaking of Tom Brady, I have to like what they've done in this offseason, bringing the entire band back and trying to run it all back again with the wily veteran who has been just so good throughout his entire career. I mean, it's hard to it's hard to argue his GOAT status at this point. There are some others you can put in the conversation, but few that have done as much as he has.
Brown's going to go for it here on a 4th and 7. Again, we'll see if they can do better than that interception this time. Keenum fires left side. He's got it. It's caught for a first down. Donovan Peoples-Jones.
Yeah, nice little connection there between Keenum and DPJ. DPJ just stuck his route right where he was supposed to, and Keenum put it on a spot at a timing route there. Very nicely done from Keenum to DPJ. Nice little chemistry showing there.
Yeah. Welcome in, Chris G. Good to hear from you, man. Well, go Browns. What a time to be alive.
504, I think the answer is Jameis Winston for now. Not that I think that's a great answer, but that's what their answer is. We'll see what they do going forward. Their biggest problem is they don't have the capital and resources to go, get somebody else, like in the, if Aaron Rodgers does go play for another team, or if, Watson comes out of his current mess and still plays for an NFL team this next season. They unfortunately are not in a position to make a move on one of those kind of players. I think the answer right now is Jameis Winston.
Welcome in, Savage. Good to have you in, brother. See you, Jamie. That's an unfortunate drop there by Stephen Carlson that would have easily converted the first down. Leads to a Parkey field goal attempt that is good. So 3 minutes remaining here. Parkey kicks this one off again. Colts now with a 1-point lead again in preseason game number 4, which again in real life in 2021 will not exist, but Madden still knows that it exists. 504. Madden doesn't really know what to do with Taysom Hill. He's kind of like a 65 rated player, you know what I mean? Because they're not really sure how to use his skill set, especially the same way that Sean Payton can use his skill set. And I think Jameis Winston's maybe like a 75 or a 76. So that's certainly lower half of the league, but certainly not the worst starting quarterback by any stretch. I mean, Carson Wentz is like a 74 in this game. So at least in our sim, they're going to roll with Jameis. We'll see how it goes.
That being said, just because I think Jameis starts, I do think you're going to see quite a bit of Taysom Hill.
For sure.
In the real offense.
You're paying the dude like, what, $18 million or something. You're going to see him. Here comes Hillinger. Looks like he's going to scramble again. Oh, and Weaver again. Second sack of the day. Bust the weave. Let's go.
That was odd. He was working out to the left perimeter there and had space and just inexplicably decides to cut it back right across the pocket again. and Weaver's able to get back there for a sack on that spot. I thought he had a lot more room to work with scrambling out where he originally was. I don't know why he decided to cut back there.
Agreed. I'm going to go ahead. We still got a quarter left. I'm just going to go ahead and take out Kareem Hunt so that nothing freak happens.
Hey, Rich, welcome in.
So that nothing freakish happens here. Oh, we did keep Dearness Johnson. I lied. Forget everything that I said.
Yeah, I guess he is on there. That's right. Because that's the guy that we ended up keeping that we were thinking of cutting, but we ended up keeping because of the long snapper. That was our flex.
Correct.
Our flex
Yes.
keep.
That was absolutely the flex keep. Yes, you are correct. You are correct, as they say. All right. Sorry about that. They won't automatically do that, so we need to automatically do that for them. Keenum under center is 1:14 left here, remaining in the third quarter as a nice little play action look. Keenum left side. He's got his receiver again. It's DPJ right near the sticks. I think they're going to give him credit. First down, Browns.
Yeah, it was the very same route we saw earlier, where that timing just really worked last time. And again, coaches saw that and go right back to it and call it again for DPJ on that little button hook. He just turns the balls in his face, and that's exactly how you draw it up. The timing on that is critical, and it works twice in a row.
Absolutely. A couple of runs here back-to-back now for Felton as he tries to expose the middle of that defense, and Darius Leonard in the game still for some reason makes the nice tackle. That's an unfair mismatch. All right, fourth quarter is upon us here. Browns down 1. Keenum in the shotgun. He's got Felton and Dearness Johnson in there. Floats it wide open, and he misses him. Unfortunately, missed there. Maybe they would go for it here from midfield. I know we've been going for it for a lot, but what the heck? No guts, no glory.
Yeah, interesting there. He definitely had Kareem Hunt as Nick Chubb checks back into the game. Again, formation subs here, folks, which is why we're getting these odd positions where you don't expect his Schwartz showing his speed there to get out to the perimeter. Very nicely done there. I mean, a less speedy receiver in that spot probably only picks up a couple yards before the defender's able to make a play on him, but he's so quick he was able to get up in quite a few more yards.
Yeah, good chance to see some of his speed for sure. We'll dump off to the right side to Felton. Whoop, makes the first man miss, and then Okereki's going to come over to make the tackle. So you see a little bit of that shiftiness from Felton as well.
He's a fluid athlete. You got to love what he does in space. He's got some moves for sure, and I think that's what they like about him, and the ability to be both a receiver and a running back and a return man. A little bit of flexibility, and the more you can do is really the mantra of making an NFL team. So that's why we think Felton has a really good shot at making this roster.
As Keenum holds the ball way too long, takes the strip sack, and the Colts take over on downs. Ellinger back to pass. Now he's going to scramble again. He's been good, and he jumps over the top of Greedy Williams. Yeah, slides underneath Greedy Williams.
I can't claim to have watched any Ellinger tape. I'm not a big fan of Texas in general as a squad, and then not to mention he was never a prospect I was interested in scouting in this particular draft. So, but obviously Madden seems to think he is quite dynamic in the run game. So he's shown some wheels and some ability to scramble here, which has been. Obviously that's what Madden thinks of him. I don't know if that's accurate, but if so, he could be a dynamic piece.
Yeah, he did a lot of, I wouldn't say he's at quite the same level as like a Johnny Manziel, but he certainly did, when he'll run around back there and extend plays and then take off. I think that part of his game is accurate.
Okay. Well, I don't know that I would, in front of a bunch of Browns fans comparing to Johnny Manziel. We all saw how that turned out.
Correct, but
that's not a favorable look.
Johnny Manziel's skill set.
Well, yeah, in college he was one thing. In the pros, he was something very different, as we all saw.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, dude won the Heisman. He was super dynamic.
Yeah. Now, of course, I do think that skill set can translate, but you have to have a bit of a work ethic and not be so distracted with all the other things in life.
Perhaps all the other things in life. Well said. So nice play there to Felton out of the backfield on the angle route for the first down. Keaton now in a shotgun. I'm sure it's giving us all pass plays. It's like, you're down. You must throw every time.
Like, can't you change that in terms of the coach mode or the tempo there? Actually, you're on shoe clock. That's interesting.
I was going to say, I have had it in shoe clock since about the middle of the third quarter just to get out of this thing.
Bizarre.
But it is weird.
Yeah, I mean, you could always just go by formation if you needed to.
We could. So I don't mind getting Case some look because he goes across the middle and hits up David Njoku for 14 yards and a first down. I just think it's funny as all.
Yeah, it is interesting that it's like, no, you must pass. Down by one, must pass.
Yep.
Thanks, man.
Play action look. Blitz coming against the play action, and he goes deep. Are we going to get PI here?
It might have been. He kind of stepped in front of the route and impeded the wide receiver's progress there, which is actually PI in the NFL game. So you can't be impeding progress of the wide receiver there. Doesn't look like a lot for a penalty, but it is enough.
Yep. Welcome in, Kevin. Go Browns indeed. As Keenum checks it down to some passing plays. Yes, I could force him. I could go out of it. I try to use the suggestions just so we don't sit here and watch me go through 200 plays every time.
Yeah, doesn't it have a run though, like in the top column, like run versus pass, or it just doesn't have any runs in there?
Well, I'm in the coach suggestions, so yeah, I can filter by eyes.
Right, I was just run versus pass. There you go, up there.
I still don't know why they put Nick Chubb in the game, but he's in the game.
Yeah, formation subs. But hey, if anybody's going to pick up this first down, you'd think Nick Chubb would.
And
which, sure enough, he does.
My sound is weird. That's weird.
Yeah, we've been having some... that may be a function of my laptop and just, the setup I've got over here. Because, remember, he's streaming to me, and then I'm broadcasting it out through OBS. So that may just be a function of the way the setup is here on my laptop. Hopefully when I get back to my main rig at home again, we'll clean up some of those issues. I noticed it on our very first preseason game. It kind of sounded like you were in a tunnel, but then the next two were kind of cleaned up. So I don't know what changed, but something seemed better about the next two preseason games. And then apparently if your sound is weird, it may be kind of back to that.
I just turned it up as well, and yeah, he's saying it sounds like I'm in a tin can.
Yeah, and I don't know why, because obviously I'm not hearing that. I would have said something if I heard that, but I don't know why that's translating to YouTube that way.
Yeah.
But my best guess is just, the setup, something about the setup on my laptop here is a little bit funky, which then has translated to not the best audio, so do apologize for that. Hopefully as soon as I get back, I will be back for our next the next game that I'm on. I will be back at home because I travel tomorrow, so I'll be back in California tomorrow evening.
Yes, if you haven't figured out the rhythm of our lives yet, Kit spends 1 week a month in Seattle and does not take his gigantic custom-built computer with him.
No, I don't.
As much as he would want to, he does not. He just takes his laptop. So yes, we're using the JV gear right now. We'll say that.
Right, but this is
preseason gear for us too.
Yeah, this is my last of those trips because my daughter will be coming home for all the summer months while she's out of school. So she'll be back at home. So I'll be streaming from home for all of summer.
That's right, and hopefully the next time you go to Seattle might be permanently.
Yeah, I certainly hope so. That's been the end goal all along. So
yes,
a little longer than I had hoped, but yes, still trying to make that work.
Hey, Demarion, welcome on. Good to see you, brother. Yeah, I really wanted to go for it, Kevin, but I decided to take the points and get the lead and see what we can do here. To shut this one down as Ellinger continues to be in the shotgun. He's been pretty decent, if you're a Colts fan. I don't know if that's something that you really kind of like. Is it Carson Wentz insurance? If Carson Wentz truly just is broken now and even Frank Reich can't bring him back,
Yeah, and I think it's definite. It's a question mark. I mean, I wouldn't say it's impossible that Carson Wentz comes back and just reunites with Reich and they just really have something there. But I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what happens in Indy with Wentz, and if he can pull it out, great. But you certainly, I feel like you have to be a little bit uncomfortable if you're a Colts fan, as far as do you get what you saw out of Wentz with the Eagles in that last year? Because much of their woes, there were injuries as well, but much of their woes started and ended with Carson Wentz and just very poor play, poor decisions. It was akin to Darnold and seeing ghosts. It was kind of what that felt like with Carson Wentz last year. So if you get that, then certainly don't think that's going to be your future if that's the case, or hope not. And then you're starting to look at is Sam Ehlinger really as good as he's looking here, and you'd certainly hope so. As some insurance policy would be a nice thing to have.
Yep. Brissett down in Miami now, backing up Tua. Is not going to come and save you one more time.
That's right.
So yes, it'll be interesting. I saw somebody, Colts beat reporter, was quoting, I don't know if it was Chris Ballard or if it was the owner, but it was basically like, the transition to Carson Wentz has transitioned seamlessly into our offense already, or something like that. And somebody retweet it with you mean he's already throwing interceptions? So that was pretty funny. We've got Carson Wentz. He's already playing well as a Colt. It's oh, you mean he's throwing interceptions already?
Right. Yeah. Well, you certainly wonder how that pans out, and I do have to say it feels like they put an awful lot of eggs in that basket, because if that trade for him doesn't pan out, this is no small risk that they're taking, shall we say.
Absolutely. Quick completion to DPJ, and then a second completion to DPJ quickly. Browns driving to try to win the game. Keenum now dumping it off to Felton right at the sideline. Did he get out of bounds? He did not.
And just one quick last point, though. Yet again, we'll see what this season holds for Wentz. But yet again, I find myself grateful that we dodged the Wentz bullet, so that Browns fans are not having to deal with any of this. And this is not our problem. We can safely watch from the sidelines and see it happen to somebody else.
Yes, we can, which is a beautiful thing. Keenum, back to pass, and he's going to get sacked there. Unfortunately, he can't take a sack there, Case.
Yeah, no, a sack there is really detrimental, putting you at the 45. You're really kind of at the leading edge of field goal range here with only 23 seconds left, 3rd and 21. Really need some production here as Baker Mayfield comes back out to try to seal this one.
I didn't even notice. It's because it's that stupid thing where Case Keenum is the running back.
Weird.
Gosh. And now Baker's going to take a sack because he's not sure what the heck's going on.
And I misread the field position there. We're actually on the opposite 40. You're definitely out of field goal range. You definitely needed to pick up a bunch of yardage here and really have no choice here on 4th and 26. Going to have to do something if you want to have any chance of winning this game.
Come on, Case.
Yeah, get it up and get it down because you got very little time to get to the line to get that field goal unit on the field.
Floats it, incomplete. That's going to do it. Browns are going to go ahead and lose this one, 17-16. Hey, Sean, welcome on. So that's going to do it. That's going to complete our preseason simming of this 2021 Browns roster. When all the starters were in, they looked sharp, which is good. Excited that this weekend we will no longer have to watch Case Keenum play quarterback. Knock on digital wood, since injuries will be back on.
Right.
That we won't have to get there. But
Baker does have a high injury rating, so that's
yes.
He's like a 98 or something on injury, or 95.
Yeah, it was fun to see a lot of the young pieces for sure. But at the end of the day, when your backups are in there, you can't afford to be -2 in the turnover battle, which they were. So we'll take just a quick little gander here at the stats. Again, Baker was 7 of 13 for 88. Case 24 of 32 for a $188, a pick and a touchdown. Again for the Colts, Wentz was 6 for 6 for 67 and a touchdown. So actually played pretty well when he wasn't getting sacked. Ellinger 10 for 15 for 86. But really the story of the day, Sam Ellinger, 7 carries, 48 yards. Is an important part apparently of his contributions to the game. So good to see Chubb 13 for 52, Hunt 14 for 40, Felton 6 for 14. For the Browns, how about Anthony Schwartz gets his first touchdown of the preseason, 7 for 67, did have a drop. DPJ 4, several other players including Dimitri Felton with 4 as well. The defensive side of the football, how about Tony Fields? There's your rookie. Again, not sure if he's going to sport number 1, but he did in college, so he's sporting it right now. 6 tackles. Harrison Williams and Richard LeCount also scoring registering 2 tackles. How about 2 sacks for Weaver, 2 sacks for Miles, 1 for JOK, and then a half for Malik Jackson and Tommy Togi. I mean, I feel like Malik Jackson shows up in the stats every week, and I feel like I've yet to call his name. So either we're just in the middle of talking about something else or what. But so again, as promised here, if you hang tight, I will go ahead and talk you through the roster decisions that we made as we unveil this 53-man roster. And then again, the next time that you see us sim with these Browns will be Sunday, and it will be week 1. And I don't even remember who it is, but we'll find out here in a second who it's supposed to be, our week 1 opponent. In this season that has most of the correct opponents, but obviously the right order. We're going to start out home against the Vegas Raiders, so that will be pretty fun. So let's take a quick gander again, if you're willing to hang with us. Oh, out of the country, Sean. Look at you, big spender. So Mayfield, Keenum, no surprises there. Nick Chubb, no surprises there. Hunt, Felton, and Dearness Johnson. Again, this was a conversation that we had, and our ability to not have to keep a long snapper helped that. Andy Janovich, obviously, decided just to keep 5. Kadarrell Hodge, I think, was a cut. I don't even know on the.
I think we put him on the practice squad.
Practice squad, yeah. Gotcha. We did decide also to keep the 4 tight end, and Steven Carlson. He had a drop in that game, so maybe he's not super pumped about it. Jedrick Wills, of course, the rookie James Hudson, Batonio, and some guy named Blake. I guess Blake did make it. Nick Harris and Treader, Forbes and Teller, and then Conklin and Hubbard. So I have no idea why Teller wasn't on that particular play. Javian Clowney, Curtis Weaver, Garrett, Tack McKinley, and Porter Gustin. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm reading the wrong screen ahead, aren't I? Malik Jackson, okay. Billings, Togiai, Marvin Wilson, and Jordan Elliott. There again, Marvin Wilson, PFF had him at a 72 because he was supposed to go a lot higher than he did. For the linebackers, we have Taki and Fields. There's the rookie Fields with Taki. Anthony Walker Jr. and Jacob Phillips in the middle. And then JOK, so we did cut Mac Wilson, or practice squatted him. JOK, the lone right, and Elijah Lee as well. For our quarterbacks, obviously Denzel, Greedy, Troy Hill, Greg Newsome, MJ Stewart, and Brian Allen making the roster. And then, here's where Red Wine himself, in fact, got cut, and Javonte Moffett as well. And again, not cut, but practice squatted. And then Parkey and Jamie Gillen. So that is what we did with the 53. You can argue with us about it later. Again, we don't have to keep kick returner, which helps. So appreciate everybody being on. Kid, anything else to wrap this one up?
No, good to see the preseason in the books here. We're looking forward to that first game against the Las Vegas Raiders. And it will be a lot of fun to get into this one. Saw a lot of A lot of interesting things in this one from the backups, but I think the most telling thing is that this defensive line continues to get production no matter who's out there, and that's just exciting. I mean, there are tons of sacks in this one again, with the backups getting the predominance of the snaps. So looks to be a very, very exciting defense as we had hoped, and should bode well for our team going forward into this season.
Absolutely. All right, we appreciate everybody. I'm just changing Carson Wentz before I forget here. Put his number at number 2. Appreciate everybody being on. You guys are the best. Thank you so much to our subscribers. Again, make sure you hop on the Discord, start voting. Maybe even as early as this afternoon if Kit has a chance to crank that out for your Week 1 Game of the Weeks. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. You guys are the best, and we will see you sometime this weekend. Today we'll say go Colts for their 1-point preseason win, but as always, go